Oh, my God. It's a three-pointer. Carolina wins it. The Tar Heels win it.
The following is a presentation of the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Tonight's contest against Charleston Southern marks the first game in the Smith Center for Carolina basketball since the come-from-behind victory over Florida State on December 2nd. It is also the first game in the Smith Center since the passing of Carolina legend, our broadcast partner, and our friend, Eric Montross. Throughout the season, we have enjoyed working with former Tar Heels Pete Chilcutt, Marcus Ginyard, and Tyler Zeller in the analyst chair, and they will return in the new year. But tonight, in honor of Eric, that analyst chair will remain empty. I will call the game alone this evening, but know that in spirit, Eric, the thousands of people he positively affected, and all Tar Heel fans will be seated right beside me. The Tar Heel Sports Network's coverage of the first meeting between Charleston Southern and Carolina will start after this from Learfield.
This is Carolina basketball on the Tar Heels Sports Network, and you're listening to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Carolina basketball is brought to you by Hunt Brothers Pizza, the official pizza of Carolina Athletics. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show.
Dave Nathan welcoming you inside the Smith Center, where fans are beginning to file in to see what will be the first ever meeting between Carolina and Charleston Southern. And for the first time all year, the Tar Heels had a little time to exhale last week. The Christmas break began on a good note. There was the solid win over a previously unbeaten Oklahoma team in Charlotte. And so Carolina's record through the first 11 games this year, 8-3. That also includes wins over Arkansas, Tennessee, in addition to the Sooners, while losses to Villanova, UConn, and Kentucky were tough to swallow. Jones, this is a team that's already proven that it can beat quality teams, and that's a trait that nobody can ignore when it comes tourney time.
No, that's right, Dave, and Carolina's gotten through that gauntlet of games that we talk so much about that started with the Bahamas and then ended in Charlotte against Oklahoma. Of course, it's worth noting, it's not like it gets a whole lot easier after tonight with 3 road games in ACC action after the game tonight against Charleston Southern. So still plenty of work to do. But you're right, the wins, I think particularly the victories over Arkansas and Tennessee and Oklahoma, those are wins that are going to travel for the Tar Heels all season long. And so for them to, I think, learn a lot about themselves as a team, but to also pick up some quality victories along the way, right? It's a lot more fun to learn things about yourself when you're winning some games. And so I think Carolina feels like it's in a better place now than it was 6 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago as a team, and they'll continue to try to take steps on that journey here tonight against Charleston Southern in a game that, look, Carolina is heavily favored in and should be, but then when things get going again in the new year, when the Heels have a really difficult start to conference play with Pitt, Clemson, and NC State all coming on the road.
So it's kind of a stilted schedule for the Tar Heels, and again, things do balance out a little bit on the back end, but that's a long time from right now when the Heels nearly wrap up the regular season with 3 consecutive home games against Miami, State, and Notre Dame before finishing up in Durham against Duke. But, Jones, no matter how this season got started or where we are right now, no question there's a dip in the level of competition that the Tar Heels are going to face today. Now, I'm not going to say this is going to be a layup win for anybody, but on paper there is a drastic disparity in Carolina and Charleston Southern.
Yeah, there is, and we'll talk about Charleston Southern coming up in a bit, but it's been a difficult year, to say the least, for them on the court. You know, their head coach left. They've had some staff members that have left, kind of the support staff around the team that have been let go or left. And so they've certainly gone through some choppy waters. The results of their games show that. You know, they've played a couple games against ACC teams. They lost big to NC State in Raleigh. They lost that game 87-53. Lost the game by 15 in Winston-Salem against Wake Forest. But ever since they made the change at the head coach position and Sa Nimley took over, while they have not won a ton of games, they're 2-3 in those 5 games, they have been more competitive. And so this is a team that has pride and that's going to come in here and be ready to go. I think from the Tar Heel perspective, you've got to use this as an opportunity to get better and an opportunity to try to work on things that you want to improve on. So what is that if you're Carolina? I think obviously the rebounding side of things, Dave, has got to improve. Now, the Tar Heels are naturally going to have a rebounding advantage in this game just due to their size, but they've been out-rebounded 126-99 over the last 3 games. And so Carolina's not facing UConn or Oklahoma or Kentucky tonight, but they want to establish themselves again on the glass. And then also, Dave, I think Carolina feels like it had one of its best defensive performances of the season last time out in Charlotte against Oklahoma. So can they build off of that defensive performance? Can they, off the 17 turnovers, or the 18 turnovers, that the Sooners had, and that turned into a bunch of points off of those turnovers, 24 of them for Carolina, 23 fast break points. Can they continue to build off those type of things as they move forward? I think all those things are things they want to accomplish tonight, whether they're playing Charleston Southern or Kentucky.
Individually, it's going to be really tough for R.J. Davis to build upon what he's already done through 11 games this year. He's put himself in some pretty rarefied company, and the White Plains, New York native, again been named the ACC Player of the Week. It's the second time that he's won the award already this year, and he's the first Carolina guard to have that accolade multiple times in the same season since Joel Berry in the 2016-2017 season. And, Jones, I know you know this. To go back a little further in time, it's been 16 seasons since the Tar Heel has scored more points in a 7-game stretch than Davis has.
Yeah, when you do something that the last one to do was Tyler Hansbrough, when you're starting to get in that type of category and company, then you know you're doing something right. Tyler, of course, one of the most decorated players in Carolina history. And R.J. Davis, to me, the really impressive thing, and we talked a little bit about this before the Oklahoma game too, Dave, but I think it still stands true, it is I'm not sure you've left a game ever feeling like, man, R.J. Davis was just out there hunting his shot, or Carolina wasn't getting into its offense enough, and he was really forcing it. I think 2 times when things got really tight against Kentucky, I think the Tar Heels fell a little bit into let R.J. dribble around and figure something out. And then late in the game against Oklahoma, when the Heels had reached that point where they were up 15 with around 7 minutes to go, and you've hit that point in the game where, hey, you want to still run your stuff, but you want to also burn some clock, and I thought they fell into it a little bit there as well, but I don't think you've left a game thinking that R.J. Davis has just been chucking shots from all over the place to get these points. And so for him to continue to score the way that he has scored, to do so in a relatively efficient fashion as a guard, a guy who just naturally is going to be taking some longer shots, has been really impressive. And, Dave, he's still getting his teammates involved. I mean, he's got 9 assists in the last 2 games. So he's getting his teammates involved. He's scoring. He's not afraid of big moments. We've seen that even when Oklahoma made things a little tight later in the game after Carolina had controlled that. R.J. Davis was the one who took and made a big 3-pointer to stretch the lead back out to 8. So he's doing a lot of things well. I think he's playing at an All-America level right now. And the Tar Heels are excited, I'm sure, to see him continue to do that once they get into conference play starting in the new year.
Yeah, in addition to his scoring, he's got a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio during this 7-game stretch. And if you take that Kentucky game out of it, Jones, where he had 5 giveaways, the assist-to-turnover ratio, something like 22-6. So he's getting it done on all fronts as the Tar Heels try to get it done here tonight and head into the new year 9-3. Charleston Southern again stands in the way of Carolina, and we will break down the Buccaneers when we come back after this from Learfield. Tar Heel fans, Food Line is the proud sponsor of the Score to Give More program. For each free throw the Tar Heels make in tonight's game, Food Line Feeds will donate 100 meals to feed our neighbors in need right here in the Triangle. So far this year, the Tar Heels have connected on 232 foul shots, and that's better than 23,000 meals donated to our neighbors in need here in the Triangle. So, again, as we get back to work on the Reed's Jewelers pregame show, Jones, as you said at the outset, tonight will certainly be a different sounding broadcast, and as we get towards the end of pregame and the beginning of tonight's game, also something different that fans should be listening for.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. And, down here at courtside, we've left the chair to my right open with Eric's nameplate there. There's some flowers there as well. Boy, I tell you, about got me, Pat Sullivan. You know this from sitting down here too, Dave. Pat, of course, a teammate of Eric's during his playing days here at Carolina. Coach Sullivan always jokes around with us before the game, and he would always come and throw a little lozenge because Pat is, like, famous for yelling on the bench. And so he needs to have cough drops there with him. And so he always has a big pocket full, and so he would always come over and throw one at Eric before the game started. He came over and put one down in Eric's chair here next to us and kind of slapped the table, and you could tell it was emotional for him like it's emotional for all of us tonight. And there will be a moment of silence here in the Smith Center before the game. There's about a 90-second or so tribute video leading up to that moment of silence for Eric. We will carry the PA feed during that video, so you can hear something that I voiced. It was written by Steve Kirshner, who is the head SID for Carolina basketball, and so we will carry that audio live near the end of our pregame show and right before the tip, and so you want to make sure and listen in for that. And if you're coming to the game, really hope that you can be here. I know you're trying your best, but if you can be here a couple minutes before tip, and this should be a great crowd. Always is in the holiday time period, Dave. So looking forward to a big crowd today. And I can't tell you how many folks have already come up and spoken to me. I'm sure the same has been for you in just expressing their sadness and their feeling of loss and their grief for Eric. And, of course, we struggled through that and have been struggling through that since it happened, struggled through it on our broadcast of the Oklahoma game this past Wednesday. And will tonight, of course, being in the Smith Center for the first time. But Eric would want us to talk. He'd be like, stop talking about me. Talk about the basketball game. And so we'll do that. Heels hosting Charleston Southern tonight in the Smith Center. And, Dave, it is, as we referenced, it has been a tough year for Charleston Southern so far. Barkley Radaball had been their head coach for nearly 20 years. And so he had some good seasons and had really done a nice job with the Buccaneers. Obviously, you're not going to be somewhere 18 seasons if you hadn't had some success. But, it has been a difficult transition for Charleston Southern in the COVID and then transfer portal time period, as that's been such a big adjustment for everybody. Charleston Southern has just 19 wins in the last 3 years. It doesn't include this season. So the last 3 full seasons, that's the COVID year and the 2 years since, they have just 19 total wins. And so they had lost 7 players into the portal this past season. And so I think it has just been very difficult for them to manage in this new landscape. And so it has been a challenge. And so with Coach Radaball leaving, it is Sa Nimley taking over. He was a great player for Charleston Southern. He was third all-time leading scorer for them when he played for the Buccaneers. They went to 2 NITs. They won their conference regular season twice. So a really good player that's now trying to take over and get this program turned back in the direction that he and so many people want it.
One of the players that's had a big hand in helping Charleston Southern to their 4 victories this year, it's R.J. Johnson. He's one of 4 players averaging in double figures this year. Johnson scoring 17 points per game.
Dave, isn't it sad that the first thing I thought when I was looking at R.J. Johnson's numbers was, boy, it's going to be hard for them to keep him out of the portal this offseason because he's played really well. I mean, as you said, averaging better than 17 points per game. He's shooting the ball extraordinarily well. I mean, this is a guy who's 6'1". We were talking about R.J. Davis for Carolina and his relative level of efficiency shooting. So you've got R.J. Johnson for the Buccaneers, and, he is 6'1", but he's shooting 50% from the floor. He's shooting nearly 48% from 3. He's shooting nearly 85% from the free throw line. So he is incredibly efficient with his shots. And he's a North Carolina guy. He's from Matthews, North Carolina, right there in the Charlotte area. In fact, went to Charlotte Latin High School. He was 2-time All-State there. Started his career in college at Holy Cross This is his second season with Charleston Southern and had a good year last year. He was top 10 in the Big South in assists and steals, and now he's taken even a larger step forward with his scoring this year. And so certainly somebody that Carolina will be aware of and will need to make sure that doesn't let him get too hot in a game here in the Smith Center tonight.
Closing thought here on the Buccaneers and Jones. This kind of backtracks into something that you were discussing in our opening segment about how Carolina had been out-rebounded on the board so often during this stretch of success. But on the other side of that, it's not like it hasn't been a focal point of Coach Davis, who has talked about wanting to be as good a rebounding team on the defensive glass as there is in the country. And an opponent like Charleston Southern here tonight that doesn't boast a bunch of size on the interior, is used to being out-rebounded by about a board and a half per game. This could help buoy some of Carolina's numbers as we get ready for ACC play.
Yeah, it's a game that I think Carolina just needs to get back to. This shouldn't be a 36-32 rebounding advantage for Carolina when it's all said and done. This is one where you feel like you'd really like to dominate the glass. And, again, this is not UConn, Kentucky, or Oklahoma, the three teams that have out-rebounded Carolina over the last three games. This is a lower level of opponent. And for Carolina, I do think the Tar Heels are looking for someone other than Armando Bacot to be a consistent rebounder for them. I think Harrison Ingram has done a very good job. He's at over 6 rebounds per game. Bacot leads the ACC at 11. But then, Dave, you start looking after that, and, Cormac Ryan's at 3.5, and you don't see, Zayden High is at 1.5. Maybe he can come in and start giving you some help on the boards. Jalen Washington at 2.5. So can you get somebody to come in and really dedicate themselves partially to help you rebound? And to me, High is a guy that is interesting in that regard, because we've talked about it almost every time that he's been in a game. His effort level is high. He sure gets his hand on a lot of basketballs. It'd be great if he could start securing some of those. But he's an effort guy that I think understands a way that he can play more is to help out defensively and rebounding. And I think he's aware of that. And so I think a player like a Zayden High could be somebody that could help Carolina in the long run in that regard.
All right, it's Carolina and Charleston Southern coming up at the top of the hour as we pump the brakes here on the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Jones will speak to Coach Davis in the Continental Tire Coaches Corner, and Adam Lucas will join us to answer some of your Carolina questions when we come back after this from Learfield. Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by Reed's Jewelers. The official Reed's Jewelers tip-off time is 8:05. Reed's Jewelers, your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. That's Reed's Jewelers, trusted with life's moments. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers or Reeds.com. Dave Nathan welcoming you back to Chapel Hill. We're inside the Smith Center for Carolina and Charleston Southern tonight. And Adam Lucas has made his way courtside to try to tackle some of your Carolina questions. Adam, you get a little extra time here today, so here's hoping that we're paying you by the word before the new year, partner.
I was under the impression that was always how I was paid. That's why some of those stories are so long, Dave.
All right, well, the first question here is rather short. It's from Steve Merrill, who asks, how has Carolina been so successful in getting to the free throw line this year?
Well, I think part of it is that one of the players who's made the most frequent trips to the free throw line is R.J. Davis, who's so proficient at the line and is having one of the best seasons in that regard in Carolina history, and is moving up that ACC list. He's in the top 10 in ACC career free throw percentage. So anytime you've got somebody like that as your linchpin, I think that helps. Armando Bacot worked really hard on his free throws over the offseason with Sean May and has made great strides in that department and in trying to be more consistent. And that's always going to be an aspect of the game that Hubert Davis emphasizes. The Tar Heels talked about it at practice just yesterday. In fact, Coach Davis telling his team he wants to make a living at the free throw line, and it's just something that's going to be part of his type of offense.
Second question from Matthew Dillon, who says he tried to get tickets to tonight's game. It's sold out. Why is a game against Charleston Southern such a tough ticket?
It really is, and this is that game that you got to keep an eye on when the schedule comes out that falls in between Christmas and New Year's, when everybody's got family at home. It's been a couple days. You've been at the house. Everyone's ready to leave. And what's the one thing everybody can agree on? Let's go watch the Tar Heels. So, ton of kids here. There were a ton of kids over getting autographs before the game. A lot of first-timers at the Smith Center. So, should be a really fun atmosphere. And who else in the country is going to put 22,000 in the building on a Friday night at 8 o'clock to watch their team play a 4-8 team? There's nobody in the country that would do that other than Carolina.
All right, it's the Tar Heels and Buccaneers of Charleston Southern coming up in about a half hour's time. Coming up right now, it's the Continental Tire Coaches Corner, brought to you by Continental Tire. It's the smart choice in tires, and for a dealer near you, just go to ContinentalTire.com.
Back from the holiday break and inside the Continental Tire Coaches Corner. I'm with the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis, as Carolina back to action. Final non-conference game of the regular season against Charleston Southern tonight in Smith Center. Coach, let's just start with the fact that hope you had a great holiday season. I know you're looking forward to a couple days to take a rest. Did you at least have a moment or two to relax?
I did. It was great, just having that uninterrupted, unhurried time with my family, my wife, and our 3 kids. And so that was really great to be able to just recharge and spend time with them. And now that the guys are back, the 26th, everyone came back. We had practice, and I'm looking forward for the remainder of the season and looking forward to our last non-conference game against Charleston Southern.
What's been the focus here for these couple of days as you've had your guys? No school back yet, no distractions. What have you been able to do work-wise with them?
Yeah, again, it gave us an opportunity to work on us as opposed to practicing in preparation for a game, and gave us a couple of days just to talk about things that we need to improve on in terms of our rebounding. I thought defensively we were really good in our last game against Oklahoma, so can we build on that? And just reestablishing our pace on the offensive end and just pushing the ball up the floor and trying to get in transition as much as possible.
I was going to ask you about that defense. It did feel like one of your better defensive efforts of the season. What did you feel like you guys did well that could be repeatable as you move through the rest of the year?
Well, I think there was great communication, great talking, great trust that put us in a position to really do a good job defensively against a very efficient offensive team in Oklahoma. And so they run a lot of ball screens. They have really good shooters, drivers, and I thought we did a really good job of playing team defense. And individually, I felt like guys took the challenge to guard their guy one-on-one without help. And so that combination is really good on the defensive end, and it helped us beat a really good Oklahoma team.
What should Tar Heel fans know about the opponent tonight?
Well, I mean, it's a team that, from an offensive standpoint, they're very methodical. Their length of possession is around, 20 seconds. And so they really try to get the shot that they want. So for us defensively, 2 things. 1, we got to, speed up the pace. And then 2, we have to be fundamentally sound and patient on the defensive end in terms of just locking in for a full possession. And but this is a team that can really shoot the ball from the outside. They have the ability to drive and to make plays and score in one-on-one situations. And so, again, we'll have to be great defensively and rebounding the basketball, and then allow us to get out in transition where we've been good all year.
Last thing, Coach, this is your only home game in like a 5-week span. You've had a lot of travel. Your next 3 games in conference play are all on the road. How do you feel like your team has managed all these different places and travel that you've gone through so far?
Well, I think they've done a great job of managing our schedule in terms of playing in different places and opponents. I'm so glad that we get to play at home. This will be a road game because we hadn't played at home for so long. And so it'd be great to play in front of our fans and play on that floor and run out of our tunnel. And I'm looking forward to playing a home game here against Charleston Southern.
Final game of the 2023 calendar year comes tonight in the Smith Center. Coach, as always, thank you for your time and best of luck.
Thanks, Jones. I appreciate it.
That's Continental Tire Coach's Corner. We've got keys to the game after we pause 10 seconds for a station ID on the Tar Heel Sports Network. Take your Tar Heels tailgate to the next level with the new Hondas. See your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today. Jones, my key for this one is the bench. Let's see if some of the reserves can make an impression here for Coach Davis.
Going pace, Dave. I think that'll be important tonight.
All right, as the lights dim here inside the Smith Center, there is a tribute video for old colleague Eric Montross, followed by a moment of silence.
Eric Montross was a member of our basketball, university, and Chapel Hill communities, immersing himself and his family into our lives with purpose, service, humor, accomplishment, and a commitment to making people feel richer and more meaningful by his very presence. As we celebrate the holidays and gather for tonight's game, let us remember the significant and positive impact Eric had in so many ways on so many people. We mourn his passing, but we also celebrate his life. He was a consummate teammate, someone who enjoyed the friendships and camaraderie found working together for a greater good, whether as a player, broadcaster, fundraiser, or in his family's efforts to support the universal fight against cancer, especially in children and young adults. That we lost him so young doesn't diminish his legacy, but should inspire us to follow his examples of goodness and grace. So please, join us in a moment of silence to honor the life and memory of Eric Montross. And when you do, think of Eric as he would have met you, with a huge smile, a clap on your back, a handshake, and a welcome that you would never, ever forget.
Carolina and Charleston Southern coming in the Smith Center. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight. Jones Angel on the call. You've heard from Dave Nathan and Adam Lucas as well. Dave will be back at halftime. You'll hear from Adam in the postgame as well. Time to get to the starting lineups presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill, an official beer of the Tar Heels. Let's start off with the visitors, the Buccaneers from Charleston Southern. Just 4-8 through 12 games, but they are winners of their last game. That was a 103-79 victory over Kentucky. Christian Sa-Nimley, his fifth year on the staff at Charleston Southern, but the interim head coach after Barkley Radaball left earlier this season after 18-plus years at the helm. The starting five for the Buccaneers looks like this. Alon Sumler, a 6'9 sophomore for the Buccaneers out of Waterbury, Connecticut, a transfer from Northern Kentucky, averaging better than 11 points per contest. He's in the backcourt along with R.J. Johnson, the leading scorer for Charleston Southern, at better than 17 points a game. We talked about him some in pregame. He's not only a good scorer, but he's efficient. 50% from the floor, nearly 48% from three, nearly 85% at the free throw line. Up front, you have Tajay Kelly. He is a problem down low. 6'7", 253-pound junior. 6 double-doubles this year. Really good at creating space for himself, averaging 15 points and nearly 9 rebounds per game. Also for Charleston Southern, you have DJ Patrick, 6'6", junior, 200-pound redshirt junior from Powder Springs, Georgia, 11 points and 4 rebounds per game. And Reginald Duhart Jr., a transfer from Appalachian State. He is a fifth-year senior, originally from Boynton Beach, Florida. Good defender, good offensive rebounder as well. Now for the Tar Heels. They come in 8-3 through 11 games. Number 9 in the AP poll, 11th in the coaches poll. Their first action since that 12-point victory over Oklahoma in Charlotte a couple of nights ago. Hubert Davis is the head coach of the Tar Heels, of course, in his third year, with a record of 57 wins, 26 losses, nearly 69% success. And the Heels sticking with the five that has become the regular five. That's the freshman Elliot Cadeau, the youngster from West Orange, New Jersey, 7 points, nearly 4 assists per game. And R.J. Davis, R.J. playing at an All-America level. He is leading the ACC at nearly 22 points per game. coming off yet another big performance in that win over Oklahoma, in which he had 23 points in 35 minutes. Cormac Ryan, the transfer from Notre Dame, kind of been hot and cold here as of late from three. He was 0 for 6 from behind the arc against UConn, then 4 of 7 versus Kentucky, but then dropped back down to 1 of 5 from 3 against Oklahoma. In total, Ryan averaging 11.5 points per game. Harrison Ingram, the junior from Dallas, Texas, the Stanford transfer, averaging better than 14 points and 6 rebounds per game. Man, he just does a little bit of everything, doesn't he? And the last game was a good show of that. 11 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, and 4 steals for Harrison Ingram. And, of course, Armando Bacot, the 5th starter, the graduate student from Richmond, Virginia. He is second on the team at 15.1 points and leads Carolina and leads the ACC in rebounding at 11 per game. So that's the starting 5 for Charleston Southern and for the Tar Heels. First meeting between these two. Two veteran officials and then a young official out there calling the action tonight. The familiar names, Roger Ayers and Bert Smith, certainly 2 familiar ones in ACC action. And then Bart Lennox, a younger official, will be the 3rd referee tonight. Let's get to the Duncan uniform report. Time to get back to buzzer beaters, blocks, bounce passes, and most of all, Duncan. Welcome back to basketball, Tar Heel fans. America runs on Duncan. Carolina, for the first time in a long time, even in those neutral site games, the Heels were wearing blue. They're back in their home whites tonight with the Carolina blue numbers, letters, and trim. The Argyle down the side of the jersey and the shorts. Meanwhile, Charleston Southern in the road navy blue, numbers and letters in white on the jersey. There is gold piping down the sides of the jerseys and shorts for the visitors tonight. Only home game for the Tar Heels from January or December 2nd until January 13th. So the Heels with a rare opportunity to be at home. A terrific holiday crowd still filing in. I know there's some traffic problems, but people are here and ready, and the ball is in the air, and Carolina is going to have the basketball first. Heels are going from right to left as we see it here courtside in the Smith Center. Cadeau up top, it goes to Harrison Ingram. One dribble to the right, back to Cadeau, right back to Ingram. He'll pitch it on the right sideline to Ryan. Penetration, then sends it to Bacot. He'll hand off to R.J. Davis, pulls up from 16. Count it for R.J. So Davis, right where he left off. Why, he is so good in that mid-range with that jump shot. You almost feel like it's automatic as he gives Carolina the early 2-0 lead. Buccaneers working on the other side. Kelly, good big man, backing in against Ingram. He'll try and fall away from the left. Comes up well short. Ingram with the rebound. Harrison going to push it on his own dribble. Now pitches ahead to Ryan to a trailing Cadeau. Right back to Ingram. Wants to get it to Bacot. Does for the easy bucket down low. Good look by Ingram. He started the break and then made the pass from the top of the key to Bacot, who had position down low near the rim. 4-0 Carolina as Charleston Southern working in the half court. Gets a good look for 3 and knocks it in. DJ Patrick, a 31% shooter from out there, got open on the left wing and swishes home the first bucket for the visitors. 4-3, Carolina on top. Cadeau to Ingram. He'll try and answer the triple. Off the iron. Too strong. Rebound caroms out to Johnson and Charleston Southern. R.J. Johnson has it knocked away by Ingram, who dives to the floor. Can't quite get to it, but he'll have the entire bench come and pick him up and help him up after the great effort by Ingram. It will belong to Charleston Southern, though, with 18 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the first half. Heels with an early 4-3 lead. Inbounds goes to Johnson. You heard Coach Davis talk some in the pregame, perhaps, that Charleston Southern will be deliberate offensively, doesn't mind milking that clock. Kelly on the low right block, tried to kick it out, intercepted by R.J. Davis. R.J. going to pull up for 3 in transition. Boy, I tell you what, we were looking right down the barrel. That puppy was good the moment it left his hands. 5 points for R.J. Davis, and the Heels are up 7-3. Davis with a couple of jump shots and a layup by Bacot, accounting for the 7 points for the Heels. R.J. Johnson, the talented guard for Charleston Southern on the perimeter, finds Kelly at the right elbow, sends it out, and going to shoot is Patrick. Had it tipped away, but Patrick somehow got it back and forced it up and in. He has all 5 of Charleston Southern's points as the Tar Heels lead by 2 here a little more than 2 minutes in. Around the perimeter, Ingram straight away. Couple of left-handed dribbles. He'll have fake the dribble handoff to Ryan. Instead, he'll pull up for 3 off the back iron. No. Rebound fought for by Bacot, but ends up bouncing off his shoulder to R.J. Johnson. Johnson the other way for Charleston Southern. Heels have to switch up top, so Ingram guarding him now. Johnson will fire up a tough three off the back of the iron. No, nothing but white jerseys for Carolina underneath. Rebound belongs to Baycott. The other direction, the Heels. Boy, they find a trailing Baycott for three. No good. He was open from straight away, hit one last game, but maybe not a shot the Heels want to take all the time. Hubert Davis, hands in his pocket, just kind of looking out at Baycott as he sets up defensively. Still 7-5, Carolina with the advantage. Heels 3 of their 6 shots have been three-pointers so far. Tough shot on the baseline is good. A fall away by Alon Sumler ties things up at 7. Cadeau hits the gas the other way, goes right corner to Cormac Ryan. Heels work it back around the perimeter. R.J. Davis out to Ryan. He has a good look for 3. Too strong again, and nothing but blue jerseys this time. The road blues for Charleston Southern. Transition 3 the other way, no good by Sumler. Here comes Carolina. Long pitch ahead from right to left by Cadeau to Ryan. Tries to attack, but the Buccaneers recover. Heels will set up in the half court. Game tied at 7. 16:30 to go first half. Another three-pointer. Well, that one's from R.J. Davis. That's pretty much a layup these days. 10-7, Carolina on top. Davis has 8 of Carolina's 10 points. 5 of Carolina's 8 shots are threes. Davis is 2 of 2. Everybody else a combined 0 for 3. 16:10 to go in the first half. Straight on between the circles, it's Duhart. Over to Johnson. Finds Patrick, who has 5 points for the Buccaneers. Down low it goes to Kelly. Another turnaround, and that one's good. Kelly, big, wide body down there at 6'7", 253. As Jalen Withers comes to the scorer's table for Carolina. Heels up 10-9 as R.J. Davis has it on the right sideline in the front court for the Heels. Around a Baycott screen, drives in, tough flip, up and good. Boy, it crawled over the rim and went in. Boy, watching Son Nimley, the head coach for Charleston Southern, he couldn't believe that one dropped in, as right now R.J. Davis is on fire. 10 of Carolina's 12 points. He's 4 of 4. The rest of the Tar Heels are 1 of 5 from the floor. Carolina up 12-9. Buccaneers working in the half court. Johnson setting up a double screen, curls around it to get to the left wing. Out to Duhart. He'll have an uncontested 3, short from straight on. Baycott with the rebound. 15-10 to go. First half, Heels up by 3. R.J. Davis to a trailing Baycott, quickly out of his hands, right side to Cadeau. One dribble, looping pass to Ryan. Nice one, and Ryan makes it pay off with the elbow jumper. That was a good look by Cadeau. Found Ryan in rhythm, elevated, it hit nothing but net. 14-9 the score. 14:50 to go first half. Next dead ball will be a full timeout here in the Smith Center. Driving in is Patrick. Pulls up against the defense of Cadeau. Can't hit it from the free throw line. Ryan with the rebound. Carolina the other way. R.J. Davis on the right. Stutter step. Drive on the baseline. Cut off. He'll send it back out to reset to Ingram. Over on the left sideline to Ryan. Wants Baycott down low and had the pass tipped away from behind. Out of bounds by Duhart. But it will belong to Carolina after this break. So R.J. Davis must have had some good gifts in his stocking as he's 4 of 4 from the floor. 2 of 2 from 3. He has 10 of Carolina's 14 points. Heels leading early, 14-9 over Charleston Southern. We'll take a break. 14:30 to go first half in the Smith Center from Learfield. Tar Heels 14, Charleston Southern 9. 14:30 to go first half in the Smith Center. For more than 25 years, Top of the Hill Restaurant and Brewery has been a pre- and post-game tradition in Chapel Hill. Handcrafted beer, great food and atmosphere. It's where Tar Heels come to celebrate. Quick check of those Lenovo stats here early on. Tar Heels shooting well, mostly because R.J. Davis is shooting well. Tar Heels 6 of 10 from the floor, including 4 of 4 by R.J. Davis, who's already in to double figures with 10 points. It is the 11th time in 12 games that Davis has been in double figures this year. He has both of Carolina's made threes. Charleston Southern 4 of 9 from the floor, including 1 of 4 from three-point range. No free throws yet for either team because there hasn't been a foul called yet on either side. There's only been 1 turnover as well. So Carolina going to come out with some subs. It will be Davis, Ryan, Jalen Withers, Harrison Ingram, and Jalen Washington. So the men that they call Jay Witt and Jay Wash will both be out on the floor along with the 3 starters, Ingram, Ryan, and Davis. And it'll be R.J. Davis to throw it in baseline left. Also a sub for Charleston Southern, Gaddis Heath III, a sophomore from Atlanta, is into the ball game for the first time. Carolina gets the inbounds to Jalen Washington. Back to the basket, now faces up on the left side. Cross-court pass on the right sideline to Cormac Ryan. Drives into the paint, pivots, goes up, has it stripped. Harrison Ingram gets the rebound, though, and he is fouled going back up. Got that rebound on the left of the lane, realized he had DJ Patrick pinned on his hip, so he went hard into him with the hook shot and drew the foul. That's the first foul on either team, and we'll put Ingram to the line for 2 shots. Kind of been a hot and cold year for Ingram at the free throw line. He's been very good overall, of course, but you heard that free throw hit hard off the front iron. No good. He comes in at 63% on the season. Carolina as a team shooting better than 76% as Ingram gets his first point of the night on the second free throw to make it 15-9. And now Carolina with some full court pressure and forces a timeout as they were able to get R.J. Johnson pinned in the corner. Cormac Ryan and Jalen Withers had him doubled up in the corner, and Johnson takes the timeout for Charleston Southern. And we have seen the Tar Heels sprinkle in that pressure throughout the season. Of course, most notably effective in the game against Florida State, where it caused the Seminoles all kinds of trouble and allowed the Tar Heels to erase a 14-point second-half deficit and come back and win. They mix it in there just to change the tempo and force the Buccaneers to use the timeout. 14-14 to go. First half in at the Smith Center. Heels lead it 15-9. First meeting between Carolina and Charleston Southern. Second Big South opponent this year for the Tar Heels. Beating Radford earlier, 86-70. That was in the first game of the season. Gaddis Heath gets reminded by Roger Ayers that he can't move. He has to throw it in here in the corner. That is a tough spot. And finally, just before the 5 seconds, gets it to Duhart, but Duhart's still in some trouble. He sends it back. Now Johnson has it, and he just is able to get across the timeline before the 10 seconds, but then he throws it away into the corner. The ball's still loose as Duhart saved it over his head, but the Tar Heels earned that turnover. And then R.J. Davis, took a hard shot in his layup attempt on the run out. No foul called, no basket, and Charleston Southern gets it back. So after all that, it turns into a mid-range jumper by Patrick that he misses. Here come the Heels the other way, still 15-9. Harrison Ingram to a trailing Jalen Washington at the top of the key. Washington will pitch it over on the right side to Cormac Ryan, right back to Washington. Dribble handoff to Harrison Ingram. Curls around. Ingram to the ACC logo. Pivots, goes up with the left hand. No good. Washington, the offensive rebound, though, and the stick back. Jalen Washington, half his rebounds this year have been offensive. They ripped that one down, spun around, and laid it home to make it 17-9. Heels up by 8 here early on. This is the largest lead early in the ball game. Just about 7 minutes gone in the Smith Center. Patrick to Kelly, matched up with Jalen Withers, bodying his way in, can't finish through contact, and then a rebounding foul on the Buccaneers as Gaddis Heath came flying in and slammed into Jalen Withers. Foul on Heath, his first, second on Charleston Southern, and Carolina will have the basketball. Heels will take the opportunity to sub as Seth Trimble has entered for the first time. Harrison Ingram will take a seat. So it's Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Withers, and Washington out on the floor for Carolina. Heels leading 17-9 here early on. R.J. Davis around a screen, kicks it out to Washington. Wide open for three. Count it. The big man stroking one home from distance. Washington now 4 of 5 this season from three-point range. That was a play that the Heels set up, that high screen. Then Washington rolled out as Davis dove in. Kicked it out to him, and Washington has 5 early points. Tar Heels lead it now 20-9. R.J. Johnson, tough shot on the other side. No good. Trimble battles for the rebound. Tar Heels on the run. Trimble going to wait. Well, thought he was going to wait for traffic to clear once he got front side. Instead, he got it to Withers, who tried to loop a pass down low to Washington, and it was kicked. So that'll stop the action with 12 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the first half. Carolina 20 and 9 for Charleston Southern. Some subs coming in for the Buccaneers. Jaden Thompson, another North Carolina native out of Concord, is going to enter for the first time. DJ Patrick returns to the game for Charleston Southern as Johnson and Heath both sit down. Trimble tried a sneaky inbounds to a cutting Davis. Had he completed the pass, it would have been a layup, but it was kicked by DJ Patrick, and the Heels will reset. It's now a 13-2 run for Carolina, including scoring the last 10. I chuckle because Cormac Ryan tripped, caught the inbounds on his backside, still got it out to R.J. Davis. Can't finish in the lane, but hey, Jalen Washington came to play, gets the offensive rebound and stick back. Washington has 7. His season high is 11, career high 13. And the Tar Heels now up 22-9, and the Heels get a steal. Jalen Withers to Trimble, to the air, scoops it up and in. What a finish by Trimble in transition. Elevated on the right, ducked it all the way underneath to the left side and kissed it off the backboard for 2. 24-9, Tar Heels on a 17-2 run, including the last 14 points. Charleston Southern in the half court. Sumler guarded by Ryan. Ryan attacking him. Sumler left baseline. Shot clock down to 7. Ends up on the right side to Patrick. Shot clock down to 4. Patrick just chucks one up. No good. Rebound to R.J. Davis. Carolina with some momentum in the 24-9 lead. Davis to a trailing Withers. He'll send it left side to Trimble. Carolina wants to find Washington down low. Instead, they go to Cormac Ryan. Left elbow jumper rattles out for the Notre Dame transfer. Good look. It just wouldn't stay in. 9 minutes gone by. Tar Heels up 24-9 over Charleston Southern. Thompson, middle of the floor in the front court for the Buccaneers. Over to Patrick. Down low, they get it to Kelly. Trying to go one-on-one with Withers. Ryan comes over to help, and then his shot is pinned against the glass and the rim by Jalen Washington, who has really shown up big. It will be a jump ball because the ball got pinned there, and the arrow belongs to the Buccaneers. So they'll get the ball after this break. But right now, it's the Tar Heels on the big run. 14-0, stretch it out to 17-2. Charleston Southern hasn't scored in more than 5 minutes of action. 24-9. Tar Heels up by 15 with 10:45 to go in the first half from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
Tar Heels on a big run here, 17-2 over the last 5 minutes and 41 seconds, including the last 14 points of the game, all belonging to the Heels. That's why the scoreboard, that North Carolina Farm Bureau scoreboard, now reads 24-9, Carolina with 10:45 to go. Reminder that we're brought to you in part by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, official health insurance partner of Carolina Athletics, and they believe, and we believe, an inclusive community is a healthy community. Here for the Tar Heels, here for all. Mention that big run. It is the 8th time in 12 games that the Heels have had a run of at least 10-0. It's currently 14-0 and, again, 17-2. Some more of those Lenovo stats show the Tar Heels shooting 55.5%, 10 of 18 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 1 of 2 at the free throw line. For Charleston Southern, they are 4 of 14 shooting. That's about 29%, and 1 of 5 from three-point range. 3 turnovers for the Buccaneers have resulted in 5 points for the Heels. Carolina with a 10-4 advantage in the paint. A 4-0 second chance point advantage, all by Jalen Washington. And a 5-0 fast break stretch for Carolina as well. And mention Jalen Washington. He has played well here early on, and he's still out there. And why not? 3 of 3 from the field, 7 points, 3 rebounds, and a block so far. Paxton Wojcik has entered the game for the first time. Heels have Cadeau, Trimble, Wojcik, Withers, and Washington. So 4 reserves and Cadeau as Charleston Southern hits a 3, though, on the inbound. Found an open Sumler in the corner. Tar Heels looked a little off-kilter as far as who was supposed to be there to get them. And the bucket ends that 14-0 run. It's now 24-12. And now a stretched-out zone for Charleston Southern, trying to disrupt this Carolina offense. Cadeau lost the ball on the drive as he tried to penetrate from the right wing. And against this zone, Carolina does not have its best three-point shooters out there. Ingram is the best one percentage-wise. Of course, R.J. Davis, a great three-point shooter. Cormac Ryan historically has been a great start to the year for him in that regard. Johnson pitches up high to Kelly in the half court for Charleston Southern. Now to Sumler, back down to Johnson, gets deep in the paint. Boy, it looked like he almost traveled, then throws up a hook shot, no good. Jalen Washington outworks Jalen Withers for the rebound. They both wanted it. Trimble in the half court other way, gets into some traffic, has to send it out to Cadeau to reset. 24-12, Carolina. Wojcik on the drive, leaves it left corner to Withers, thought about the three, instead kicks it up high to Cadeau. Back to the man-to-man for Charleston Southern as Cadeau tries a step-back three. Not a real high-quality shot there for the Heels, and it's no good. Rebound to the Buccaneers. Carolina by 12 as Sumler stumbling into the paint, has his shot erased by Jalen Washington. Second block for the reserve big man. Trimble, pitch ahead to Withers. A little too far. Withers saves it, though, to Cadeau. Back to Trimble, over to Wojcik. Long distance three is no good. Rebound slapped out, though, to Carolina. Heels will reset. Trimble, crossover, spin, hangs, and pushes it home. What an athletic finish by the youngster. 4 by Trimble, 4 total points, and it's 26-14. Carolina 26-12. Carolina by 14. That's the Smith Center crowd here in force on the holidays on its feet. Baycott and Zayden High going to check in for Carolina. Next opportunity. As Wojcik tips the ball away on the post presence by Kelly. Wojcik ran after it but couldn't get there before it goes out of bounds. That will stop the clock at 8:46, 8 on the shot clock. Good minutes by both Withers and particularly Washington as they go out for the aforementioned High and Baycott. So it's Cadeau, Trimble, Wojcik, High, and Baycott, the 5 on the floor. Just 8 seconds on the shot clock here for Charleston Southern. Heels up 26-12. Johnson is just going to take it himself, no good. And it's Trimble up in the air for the rebound for Carolina. Tar Heels the other way. Still, Trimble, the crossover, gets into the paint. Boy, took a lot of contact and couldn't finish. He spilled down on his backside. He is up and okay. Buccaneers the other direction after the defensive rebound. Johnson out to Duhart on the right wing. They'll work it around the perimeter. Left side it goes to Sumler. He'll try the guarded three. No good. Baycott cleans the glass for the Heels. To Cadeau. Head up as it normally is, coming front side. Hesitation, explodes to the rim, and his shot is aggressively blocked. Loose ball ends up to Trimble. He takes it to the rim, can't finish. Rebound ends up to Charleston Southern. Couple of big collisions at the rim there as the Buccaneers end up with the basketball. Sumler, right of the lane, out to Duhart. Back around the perimeter, working it to Patrick now, trying to drive against Wojcik. Wojcik pokes it away. Patrick gets it back. Shot clock down to 13. Sends it to Kelly, who has it stripped on the drive. Another opportunity in transition for Carolina. Trimble got a little too deep and elevated, had to send it out to Cadeau. Now to Wojcik, backdoor to High on the baseline. High on the left side, nothing there. Heels will reset. 7:30 to go, first half. Heels up 26-12. 14-point lead for Carolina. Largest has been 15. Wojcik, no good on the three. Baycott, the offensive rebound. Baycott on the right baseline, trying to go one-on-one, nothing there. He'll send it back out to Cadeau, and another chance on this possession for the Heels. Cadeau weaving through traffic, gets to the rim, tried to drop it off to Baycott. Loose ball run down by Wojcik. He's going to try another three. It's off the iron, no good. Carolina has gone bone dry offensively here as Cormac Ryan will check in. The Heels just one of their last 9, including 0 for their last 5. That may have all been on that possession the way it felt. Tar Heels still up 14, 26-12. 6:47 to go, first half. R.J. Johnson around traffic and hits the left elbow jumper. His first points. He comes in averaging better than 17. Carolina hadn't scored in 2.5 minutes. Cadeau with his team up 12. Over to Seth Trimble on the right wing. Wants to go down low, gets it to Baycott with good position. He finishes in front of the iron, and he'll have a chance for three. The entry pass by Trimble set it up as Baycott able to finish, draw the foul on Kelly. His first, third on the Buccaneers, and Baycott will have an opportunity for the three-point play after this timeout. 6:28 to go in the first half. Carolina has Charleston Southern doubled up at the moment, 28-14. Baycott will try to match Carolina's largest lead with a free throw when we return. Heels up 14, first half in the Smith Center from Learfield. Tar Heels started this game hot. They have cooled off offensively, but still with a comfortable early advantage, 28-14 with 6:28 to go. Armando Baycott in the first half in the Smith Center. Armando Baycott will be at the free throw line to try to complete a three-point play when action resumes. A reminder, you can celebrate the season with gifts, deals, and holiday feels. Find the perfect presents for everybody and every budget. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com today, Kohls.com. Some of those Lenovo stats brought to you by Lenovo, a global technology leader that has called North Carolina home since 2005. Visit Lenovo.com. Lenovo, smarter technology for all. Couple of nice performances off the bench. Certainly R.J. Davis with 10 points and 3 steals is leading the way for Carolina, and R.J. is back in. But some nice bumps off the bench by Jalen Washington, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. And also Seth Trimble, 4 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. Right now, though, Carolina is going to bring in 4 of their 5 starters. It'll be Davis, Ryan, Ingram, High, and Baycott. So 4 starters and High out there on the floor as Baycott gets the roll on the free throw. He's now up to 5 points, and the Heels showing some full court pressure here as Zayden High, I think, touched the basketball, and then Bert Smith came and gave him a talking to. Now Bert Smith is talking to Reginald Duhart as well, as the two of those gentlemen apparently had some words. As it's turned over, ends up to Ingram, and he's fouled, going, they're going to call a jump ball. As Carolina ends up getting the turnover, and now there's been a technical foul called. Bert Smith, I believe, calling it on Zayden High. And Hubert Davis is calling the young player over to him. So they call a jump ball on Ingram as he went up to try and score after the turnover. Then there was some pushing and shoving, and High gets the technical. That'll put R.J. Johnson at the line for the freebies. He makes them both for Charleston Southern. Looks like High's going to stay in the game after Hubert Davis talked to him. And Coach Davis just said something to Roger Ayers that said, he's good, we're good. Carolina will inbound on the baseline left. That all started when High picked up the basketball and handed it to Duhart when he was trying to throw it in. Carolina the other way. R.J. Davis to a cutting Baycott, who hooks it off the center square for 2. Baycott with 7, and an assist for R.J. Davis to go along with his 10 points and 3 steals. It's his second assist. 31-16, Heels back up by 15 points. R.J. Johnson weaving through traffic, retreats to the right corner, now attacks through the lane, still dribbling around, gets it to Kelly. Kelly loops a pass to Duhart on the low right block. Back to Kelly at the free throw line. Too strong on his fall-away jumper. Rebound to Baycott. Heels up 31-16 and on the move. R.J. Davis to Baycott, coming right down the center of the paint. Fouled, and give him 2 more. Baycott will have a chance for the 3-point play. Foul is on Reginald Duhart Jr., his first, 4th on Charleston Southern. By the way, that technical foul on High also counted as a personal foul. That's the only foul that Carolina has been called for in the game to this point. Baycott to try and get in double figures, gets the roll. Rattled around, went off the backboard and in. And now Carolina is going to take Zayden High out and put in Washington. This is one of the very few times this year, if any, that Washington and Baycott have been on the floor together. Washington tips the inbounds, but then it hits the back of the backboard, so it'll stay with Charleston Southern. So Carolina has been tinkering with this in practice some, with Washington and Baycott being out there together and Washington playing the 4 to give the Heels some more size, but at least off the top of my head, can't remember it being put into action in the game. We'll see how it plays out. 5:42 to go first half. Heels up by 18. This pressure is causing all kinds of trouble. Charleston finally gets it in, though. R.J. Johnson coming up front side on the left. Ends up in the trailing hands of DJ Patrick, who rattles in a long jump shot. That is a 3 for Patrick, his second. He has 8 to lead the scoring for the Buccaneers. Carolina up 34-19. Davis with the penetration, the bounce pass, and Baycott hammers it home with 2 hands. Another assist for Davis. He's done it in multiple ways, and now the 2 stalwarts, Baycott with 12, Davis with 10. They have 22 of Carolina's 36 points. Tar Heels up by 17. Johnson's picked up his dribble. He's in all kinds of trouble near the timeline. Finally able to get it to Duhart on the right sideline. Now he's in trouble after picking up his dribble. Tries to get it to Johnson and knocked out of bounds by R.J. Davis. Ball rolls into the scorer's table area. Sarah Sessum's doing a nice job hustling to get the ball and hand it back to Bird Smith. 4:53 to go in the half. Carolina up 36-19. Johnson, front side. Tar Heels switch a screen. Baycott goes out to guard him. Johnson trying to force one up on the big man and is just swatted into the stands. There is only 0.2 of a second on the clock, the shot clock. So this cannot, by rule, be a catch by Charleston Southern. It has to be some kind of tip. They cannot catch the ball and get a shot off in time. And the inbounds does result in a shot clock violation as they just lobbed it up, and it was swatted up in the air. So Carolina will have it, 4:45 to go in the first half with a 17-point lead. Largest lead has been 18 here in the first half. R.J. Davis picks up his dribble. Short bounce pass on the left side to Ingram. Ingram puts his backside into his defender, trying to back in on the left. Nothing there, so he kicks it out to Ryan. Quick catch and shoot three. You heard it. Stripped through the net. Ryan with 5. Nice pass by Ingram from the left of the lane to the right wing. Carolina now 4 of 11 from three-point range, including Ryan hitting his first. Heels up 39-19, largest advantage of the game. Duhart dribbling between the circles. The big man hands off to Patrick. Over to Sumler, trying to back in against Cormac Ryan. Really tough ball away. No good. Holy cow. Harrison Ingram tried to get the loose ball. He did a full flip over in midair. The loose ball was picked up by Charleston Southern and scored, but gracious, everyone's concern was on Ingram. He somehow pops immediately up and is okay. It looked for a moment like he was going to land head first on the ground. His feet were pointing to the top of the Smith Center. He got his hands down and kind of cartwheeled or somersaulted over and appears to be okay. There was a basket in there. Kelly cleaned up the loose ball and scored, but Carolina just happy that Harrison Ingram avoided what looked to be a serious issue there. Thankfully, appears to be okay. It will send us to a break. 39-21, Carolina by 18 with 3:57 to go in the first half, and the Heels will have the ball. They stop the action to check on Ingram after the play. He's okay, it appears. Heels doing okay. Up 18 with 3:57 to go first half from Learfield. North Carolina Farm Bureau scoreboard has been in the Tar Heel advantage all night, and it remains that way with 3:57 to go first half. Heels up 39-21. Harris Teeter's, the official grocery store of the Tar Heels, offers everything you need for the perfect game day. That goes from subs to pizzas to snacks and drinks. They have you covered. Plus, they offer great ways to save every day with fuel points, EVIC, and HT Plus. Visit harristeeter.com for more info. Harrison Ingram remains on the floor, so he's okay after that wild fall. It'll be Davis, Ryan, Ingram, Washington, and Baycott, the 5 on the floor for Carolina. In fact, Carolina gets it down to Ingram on the low left block. A double team comes, so he sends it in the corner to R.J. Davis. His 3 was online but short. Washington and Ingram battling for the rebound. Goes to Ingram. Can't quite push it up and in after he was able to outfight a couple Buccaneers and his teammate for the rebound. Good effort by Washington down on the floor to keep it alive. Charleston Southern the other direction. Johnson has it between the circles. The diminutive guard pitches over on the right side. Carolina got mixed up defensively, and DJ Patrick, who's had a good game, made him pay. That's his 3rd three-pointer. He now has 11 points, and Carolina's lead is back down to 15 at 39-24. Kicking it out to Jalen Washington is R.J. Davis, and Washington, another triple for the big man. That's his 2nd today, and 5 of 6 this season for Washington, who's into double figures for just the 2nd time this year and 3rd time in his career. One of 3 Tar Heels in double figures. Baycott with 12, Davis and Washington with 10 apiece. Johnson trying to drive against the fellow R.J. and has it stripped by R.J. Davis. Here comes Carolina after Baycott picked up the loose ball. Davis, down low, Jalen Washington for the flush. Washington now with a season-high 12 here in the first half. He's just 1 off his career high. 44-24, Heels back up by 20 with 2:22 to go in the first half. Out in the middle of the floor, Kelly goes to Duhart in the right corner, trying to drive against Jalen Washington. stopped at the free throw line, has to send it out to R.J. Johnson. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the visitors from Charleston Southern. Johnson, left of the lane, a jitterbug fall away. Good, tough shot by R.J. Johnson as he knocks in the long fall away on the left baseline. 44-26, Carolina by 18. Baycott straight away, holding it chin high. Couple of left-handed dribbles. He'll have a handoff to Cormac Ryan. Hesitates, drives, and gets right to the rim for the easy left-handed layup. Charleston Southern got lost, and Ryan, as soon as he saw that sliver of daylight, attacked and laid it home. 46-26. This matches Carolina's largest lead. Tough fall away on the baseline. Sumler well short. I'm not sure if Ryan blocked that or if it just came up that short into the hands of Baycott. R.J. Davis the other way is banged to the ground in transition. He'll go to the free throw line. 1:28 to go. Let's see, that foul is on R.J. Johnson. His first. There really have not been a lot of fouls called in this game, just 6 total. 5 on Charleston Southern on 5 different players, and 1 on Carolina, which wasn't even a personal foul. It was the technical foul that counts as a personal foul on Zayden High. Now you've got Seth Trimble and James Okonkwo coming to the scorers table for Carolina. Okonkwo's only played 9 total minutes this year, but he's going to get an opportunity as R.J. Davis strips the net on the free throw for his 11th point. Largest lead of the game is now 21. Washington will come out as well as Baycott. So Carolina's 5 on the floor will be Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, and Okonkwo. Okonkwo, the West Virginia transfer. R.J. Davis, boy, rare that he even hit some of the rim on his free throw, but hit the back portion of the iron, then the front portion, and rattled in. 48-26, Heels by 22. Some full court pressure. Forced Thompson to pick up his dribble in the backcourt. Charleston Southern still doesn't have it front side. Got to do it, only have 1 second, and Patrick able to get it front side. Ends up in the left corner to Heath, who just checked in, and tough finish by Heath, and he'll have a chance for the three-point play. Fouls called on Trimble. So Gaddis Heath III will have an opportunity for the three-point play as Trimble picks up the foul. Heath, sophomore from Atlanta. This will be just his 3rd free throw of the season. With Carolina now leading again by 20, 48-28 with 1:15 to go. And score stays the same as the free throw rattles out. Ingram with the board. Carolina with a 20-13 rebounding advantage, 21-13 rebounding advantage here in the first half. R.J. Davis deep on the right wing, trying to use an Ingram screen, can't do it, so instead he'll drive towards the baseline, send it out to Ingram, who knocks it in and immediately points to the passer after the triple. R.J. Davis has 7 assists and 4 steals to go along with his 12 points. The 7 assists for Davis ties, or is a season high. His career high is 12. 51-28. Carolina really stretching it out here in the final minute. Kelly going hard against Ingram. Tough, turnaround won't go. Okonkwo cleans the glass. He'll get it to R.J. Davis, and Carolina's going to take the use it or lose it timeout here as they'll have it with the shot clock off. 24.1 seconds to go. Heels up big, 51-28. Just a couple of checks on some of these career and season numbers because we're already starting to find some. Mentioned Jalen Washington has 12 points. It's the season high. His career high was 13 at Virginia last year. Remember, there was that game where Baycott got hurt very early in the game, and Washington, who had just started to be able to play after his injury, played a ton and played pretty well. Had 13 points and 6 rebounds that game, both career highs. He has 12 points and 4 rebounds already tonight. And again, that is a season high in points for Washington and a couple off his career high in rebounds. R.J. Davis, the 7 assists. That's a career high, a season high. His career high was that NCAA tournament game against Marquette, the first game in that magical run for the Heels in 2022. He had 12 in that game that afternoon. So R.J. Davis, 12 points, 7 assists, 4 steals. You've got Baycott with 12 points and 7 rebounds. Washington, 12 points, 4 rebounds. Those 3 doing some heavy lifting for Carolina. Heels come out of the huddle with Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, and Okonkwo. 5 on the floor. They'll inbound it to Cadeau, who's going to milk the clock. Again, shot clock is off. Game clock at 15. 51-28. Carolina on top. Cadeau dribbling between the circles. Guarded by Jaden Thompson, the freshman from Concord. Thompson spreads out his arms. Cadeau nods his head and said, let's go. Crossover with 5. Cadeau gets to the rim, flips it up, no good. Rebound, though, goes to Ingram. The putback won't go from right in front of the rim. Ingram's frustrated that he couldn't get it to drop, but Carolina did most everything else right in the first half in the Smith Center. Tar Heels 51, Charleston Southern 28. So Carolina, the 23-point halftime lead is the largest advantage that Carolina has had in a game this season, surpassing the 22-point lead they had over Tennessee here in the Smith Center a couple of weeks ago. Heels up 51-28 at the break. Dave will take you through the Wells Fargo halftime show after this from Learfield. Well, an impressive half for Carolina. 51-28. Tar Heels with the lead over Charleston Southern as we go to the second 20 minutes. That means we need to pick our trusted choice of the game. Brought to you by Trusted Choice, independent insurance agents of North Carolina. They want you to stay safe behind the wheel. Put down your phone while driving. Let's have a hands-free NC. Learn more and find an agent near you. Visit trustedchoice.com/go Heels. Let's go to Carolina, continuing to trust that bench in the second half. Had a lot of guys come off that bench and be effective. Of course, R.J. Davis had 12 points, played very well from the jump. Armando Baycott had 12 points and 7 rebounds. R.J., by the way, 7 assists and 4 steals. But really good minutes for Jalen Washington. 5 of 5 from the floor, 12 points, 4 rebounds. Seth Trimble, 4 points, 4 rebounds. Also saw Okonkwo come in there for a couple minutes. Withers played well when he was out there. Zayden High getting involved in a lot of different ways, as he normally is. So see if Carolina can have that opportunity to maybe give that bench a few more minutes than normal in the second half. All right, ball's going to go to Charleston Southern first. And it is the Buccaneers on the left wing in the front court. Ends up down in the post to Kelly. Sends it out to R.J. Johnson. His tough fall away. It's off the iron, no good from the right elbow. Carolina with the rebound. Cadeau, it's the starting 5. Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, and Baycott on the floor for Carolina. Heels working around the perimeter. Ends up to Cormac Ryan. Now to Baycott, right back to Ryan. Hesitation, getting to the right of the lane as runner pops out. Baycott with the rebound, and then he's fouled. Had it in both hands, and then Tajay Kelly just swiped down on his arms and picked up the foul. So it'll belong to Carolina with 20 seconds on the shot clock. 19:20 to go here in the game clock. R.J. Davis, by the way, passed J.R. Reed in career scoring in that first half as the inbounds goes to Baycott and called for a travel. Tried to spin as soon as he got it and ended up traveling. But R.J. Davis passes J.R. Reed for 30th all-time in scoring. Next up on that list is current Tar Heel assistant Jeff Lebo, who's in 29th with 1,567 points. R.J. Davis now at 1,555. Full court pressure by Carolina. Charleston Southern still in the backcourt. Boy, just able to cross that timeline with 1 second to spare. We've seen that happen a couple of times. R.J. Johnson drives to the free throw line. Nothing there. Sends it to Kelly. Now a runner from right of the lane is good after Kelly handed off to Sumler. Sumler gets the bucket. He's up to 7 points. And it's 51-30, Carolina by 21. He'll still haven't scored this half, although they haven't had a lot of chances. Good one here. Ingram wide open for 3 after the penetration and pitch out by Cadeau. Ingram with his second three-pointer. He's up to 7 points in the ball game. Second assist on the night for Cadeau. 54-30, Tar Heels by 24. Largest advantage of the game for Carolina. Duhart, the white headband. The road navy blue jersey has it. He's going to try a 3 and swish it home. Duhart had been just 4 of 10 from 3 on the season coming into the game. But the big man able to knock that one in, make it 54-33. Cadeau dribbles to the right elbow, hesitation, explodes, and can't finish off the back iron. Gets his own rebound, though, and cleans it up for 2. Cadeau's first bucket Ingram flew in to try and get the rebound. That drew all the attention, and the ball went right back to Cadeau, who laid it in from the left side. 56-33. Carolina by 23 with 17:50 to go. Kelly gets free left of the lane and then has it stripped away by Cormac Ryan. Ryan coming front side on the right. Kicks it in the corner to R.J. Davis. Doesn't take the three. Instead spins. Goes in, and I don't know how, but he forced it off the window for two. What a tough shot by Davis as he was in heavy traffic with heavy contact. 58-33. Tar Heels by 25. R.J. Johnson flips it to Kelly. Faces up between the circles. Now well out on the left side. Passes to Sumler. Couple right-handed dribbles to the middle of the floor. Now right back to Duhart on that left sideline to Sumler. To Duhart, who just made a three. Doesn't take this one. Instead goes on the right wing with the pass to Kelly at the elbow. Has it stripped on the drive. Davis the other way for Carolina. He's stripped going up. And R.J. Johnson able to save it on the baseline for the visitors. Nice job by R.J. Johnson that time with the quick hands. Taking it away from R.J. Davis as he tried to finish the transition layup. 58-33. R.J. Johnson drives, sends it out, ends up into the hands of Sumler. He'll dribble to the top of the key, still outside the arc. Now he's on the left wing, shot clock down to 8. Sumler picks up his dribble, needs some help. Gets it to Kelly. His fall away on the left baseline. No good, he airmailed it. Rebound punched out to Cormac Ryan. Heels going left to right. Ryan to Ingram, another three, another make. That one from the right side, and Charleston Southern takes a timeout. Ingram, who had a couple good looks in that first half, was just 1 of 6 shooting in the first half, is having no such trouble here. 2 3-pointers to have 6 points this half, 10 points for the game, and the Tar Heel lead is out to 28. 61-33 the score. That timeout stretches to a full 16:29 to go in the Smith Center from Learfield. Four Tar Heels in double figures, and Carolina shooting 52% from the floor for the ball game. Should let you know it's been a good offensive night for the Heels. Still 16:29 to play, and Carolina leads at 61-33 over Charleston Southern here in the Smith Center. A reminder that we're brought to you in part by Modelo, an official beer of the Tar Heels. Those 4 Tar Heels in double figures, by the way, it's R.J. Davis with 14, 12 for Armando Bacot, 12 for Jalen Washington, and 10 for Harrison Ingram. Other scores for Carolina, Ryan has 7, 4 for Seth Trimble. Cadeau has 2 as well. Leading scorer for Charleston Southern is Patrick. That's DJ Patrick. He has 11 all in the first half, 7 for Sumler, 6 for R.J. Johnson. Those stats presented by Lenovo, Lenovo.com, Lenovo Smarter Technology for All. It will belong to Charleston Southern with Carolina leading by 28. Heels don't make any subs. It will still be Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, and Bacot, 5 on the floor. 1 sub in for Charleston Southern, Gaddis Heath III, who played some and scored a bucket in the first half, will be in coming out of this timeout. DJ Patrick to throw it in. He can run the baseline, does so, and just able to get it in before the 5-second call. Tar Heels pressuring in the backcourt. Charleston Southern does as good a job as it's done all night breaking it. It results in a clean look, but a miss on the fall-away left side by R.J. Johnson. Carolina with the defensive rebound. Cadeau dribbles all the way into the right corner, up the sideline to Ryan. Now it goes up high to Bacot. Right back to Cadeau on the right wing. Fakes the pass back to Bacot. Gets all the way to the baseline. Out to R.J. Davis. Back to Cadeau. They leave him alone for 3. Yes, sir. Cadeau makes his first 3-pointer since the Arkansas game, knocking it in from the right sideline. He's up to 5 points all this half. 64-33. Carolina, after a cool start, shooting from 3 is now 9 of 17 in the game. That's nearly 53%. R.J. Johnson dribbling on the perimeter for Charleston Southern. Over to Sumler. Now it goes down low, and Duhart able to fire it off the backboard from the right block over Harrison Ingram for the bucket. 64-35. Cadeau all the way into the lane. Now bounces it back out to R.J. Davis. To Harrison Ingram. Still outside the arc. Back to Davis. Jalen Withers has come to the scores table. R.J. Davis misses the fall-away 3 from the left sideline. Rebound after the Tar Heels tip it some. Ends up to Charleston Southern. Jalen Washington will come to the scores table as well. So Withers and Washington both set to check in for Carolina. Tar Heels up big, 64-35. Johnson misses after taking contact at the rim, but they get the offensive rebound, then airball the three. Long pitch ahead by Ingram, though, tipped away and stolen by Charleston Southern. Sumler the other way will drive all the way in, send it into the left quarter to Gaddis Heath. Drives in, can't finish over Baycott. His tip won't go either, and then the ball's knocked over the backboard by the Tar Heels, I believe. So it's going to go to Charleston Southern after another full timeout. 14:44 now to play. Second half in the Smith Center. Carolina has never trailed and leads it big, 64-35 in its first meeting with the Buccaneers from Charleston Southern. Tar Heels up by 29 from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
Tar Heels have been in control from the jump, leading by 23 at halftime. Tar Heels have led by as many as 31 and currently up by 29, 64-35 with 14:44 to go. We're going to have a lot to choose from as our best in the game, brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. That's our player of the game. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. And we're brought to you in part by Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. Tar Heels have gotten to know hotels well here recently. This is the only home game for the Heels between December 2nd, that win over Florida State, and then January 13th. That's a home game against Syracuse. The next three games for the Heels will all be on the road at Pitt, at Clemson, at NC State. So three challenging road environments and three good teams that the Tar Heels will see in the next week and a half or so. Right now, though, trying to finish things off against Charleston Southern. Up big, but still 14 and a half minutes to go. Carolina leads 64-35. Middle of the floor, offensively for Charleston Southern's R.J. Johnson, guarded by Cormac Ryan. And a foul is called on the drive on Ryan. That's his first. The Charleston Southern coaches have been very frustrated by the lack of foul calls. That's only the third on Carolina in the game, and one of them was a technical foul on Zayden High. So that means that's only the second foul called in the course of the play that's been whistled on Carolina. The other was on Seth Trimble in the first half. R.J. Johnson, long way out, dribbles, kicks it in the corner, and a three-pointer missed by Patrick, but an offensive rebound between three Tar Heels belongs to Gaddis Heath on the long rebound after the long miss. Tar Heels, though, get a steal the other way. R.J. Davis ahead to Jalen Withers. Finds Davis in transition. Davis started it with the tip away. He'll finish it with the layup, and he's going to head to the line as well. Withers caught the ball right after Davis tipped it away, immediately threw it down the floor. And Davis gets the layup and the foul. The foul is called on Heath, his second. He becomes the second Charleston Southern player with two fouls. As we said, there just haven't been many fouls called, period. That's only the seventh foul in total called on Charleston Southern. R.J. Davis, as he normally is money at the line. Now 56 of 59 on the season. Seth Trimble's going to check in, and Harrison Ingram will get a breather for the Tar Heels. So Carolina has Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Withers, and Washington as the five on the floor. If Washington gets another basket, it'll be a career high for him. Boy, big trouble for Charleston Southern, and it's a turnover in the backcourt as Thompson got caught in the corner, tried to throw it up the sideline and send it out of bounds. That trap has been effective. Hasn't necessarily always caused turnovers, but it has slowed Charleston Southern down a bunch, nearly causing them some 10-second violation and forcing a few miscues as well. R.J. Davis to Ryan. Good look at three, but short from straight on. Great hustle by Jalen Withers. Couldn't quite get the loose ball rebound up off the bounce, but really good effort by him coming in from the right sideline to try and pick up that loose ball. It will belong to Charleston Southern as it went out of bounds off the hustling Withers. 67-35, largest advantage of the game for Carolina, 32 points. This matches the largest lead in any game this season for Carolina. They led by 32 at one point against UC Riverside as well. Sumler trying to drive baseline against Trimble. No luck. He's in trouble. Turns around and has it blocked by Trimble. Then Trimble comes out of there with it. 3-on-2. Trimble, he's going to go right to the cup and lay it home with the left hand. Trimble has been effective. 34-point lead for the Heels, the largest at any point in any game this season. 69-35 with 13:10 to go. Johnson well out on the left side in the front court for Charleston Southern. Small bounce pass top of the key to Kelly. Now to Heath. Heath on the top right. Now passes middle of the floor to Sumler. 10 on the shot clock. Johnson has it now, trying to drive from the left against Ryan. His fall away is no good, but Ryan's going to get called for the foul, challenging the shot. Second foul on Cormac Ryan. He's the only Tar Heel with 2, and it looks like Paxton Wojcik may come and replace Ryan, but he'll have to wait for the 2 free throws, or at least the first of the 2 free throws, by R.J. Johnson. So R.J. Johnson out of Matthews, North Carolina, 2-time All-State performer at Charlotte Latin High School, started his career at Holy Cross. He was Patriot League All-Rookie team back in 21. Gets the free throw to roll in. And now in his second year with the Buccaneers. Of course, everybody wants him to miss both free throws. If that happens in the second half, free crumble cookies for everybody, because the opponent will have, quote, crumbled under pressure. I love it. But Johnson's not a good candidate. He's an 85% shooter at the line. Already made the first, and the second one looks good as well, and it is. He's 4 of 4 at the stripe tonight. Some full court pressure now by Charleston Southern. R.J. Davis gets it ahead to Wojcik. Back to Davis on the right side. 69-37 after the 2 free throws went in. R.J. Davis dribbles into the right corner for Carolina. Continues to work his magic with the basketball against the defense of Sumler. Oh, drives in, bounce past the Withers. Way up in the air for the flush. What a pretty play by Davis. Had that ball on a yo-yo the whole time. And then found Withers, who is one of the most athletic players on Carolina's team, for the aggressive finish. The other side, Charleston Southern. Kelly from the top of the key, trying to back in against Withers. Sends it out to Heath. Jalen Washington challenges the 3. It's off the mark. Rebound to Wojcik. Carolina on the run again. R.J. Davis going to try the alley-oop to Jalen Washington. Had it poked away. Carolina keeps possession, though. Out to R.J. Davis. Long distance 3. Boy, in and out. But there's going to be a rebounding foul on the Buccaneers as Kelly had Jalen Washington wrapped up. Foul on Kelly is his 3rd. He is the only player on either team with 3 fouls. That's just the 3rd on Charleston Southern this half, so not close to shooting yet on free throws. 12:01 to go. Carolina leads at 71-37. Jalen Washington still getting some guff from his teammates for not finishing that alley-oop. He was trying to do so in traffic. He's got a big smile on his face. A lot of smiles here tonight with the way Carolina has dominated this game, leading 71-37. R.J. Davis, step back. Oh, they left him alone from the right sideline. That's a bad idea. Nothing but net. Davis, his 3rd 3 of the night. Carolina having a lot of fun. Davis is up to 20. He also has 9 assists, so he's an assist away from a double-double. R.J. Johnson on the other side for Charleston Southern. Finds a teammate. Short jumper missed. I believe that was by Patrick, and Jalen Washington with the rebound. Over to Trimble. Trimble crossover into the paint, has his shot blocked, and Charleston Southern recovers. 11:15 to go. Heels cruising up 74-37. Largest lead of any game at any point this season. R.J. Johnson, right of the lane for the Buccaneers. Sends it out to Kelly. Now to Sumler, left side. 3 is good for Alon Sumler. He's now into double figures for the 8th time this year with 10 points. 74-40. R.J. Davis around a high screen by Jalen Washington. Davis fakes the pass to the rolling Washington. Now gives it to him, and Washington is hacked as he goes up for the layup. So he'll have some free throws after this timeout. And that foul's on Kelly, and that is his 4th. So Kelly, even though there have not been many fouls called in this game, just 9 on Charleston Southern, just 4 on Carolina. Kelly now owns 4 of those individually. 74-40, Carolina with the 34-point lead. 10:47 to go in the Smith Center. Don't go anywhere. Carolina cruising from Learfield. Tar Heels have led by as many as 37 points, currently up by 34, 74-40. with 10:47 to go. Our broadcast presented in part by Allen Tate Realtors. Whether you're buying, selling, relocating, or seeking financing or insurance, Allen Tate can help. Allen Tate Realtors, #1 realtor in the Carolinas, with more than 70 local offices and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. Jones Angel here with you tonight in the Smith Center. You've heard from Dave Nathan as well, Adam Lucas. Adam and Dave will both be back in postgame. Ben Alexander, our chief network engineer, and John Essick back in our Tar Heel Sports Network studios. So I mentioned R.J. Davis, 9 assists with the 20 points. Has R.J. Davis ever had a double-double, you might ask? Yes, he has. 4 times in his career, including 3 times last year. The interesting thing, though, all of those have been point rebound double-doubles for R.J. Davis. I mentioned his career high in assist is 12. That came against Marquette in the NCAA tournament first round in 2022. RJ only had 4 points that particular game. He actually really struggled shooting. He was 1 of 10 in that game. Now, he made up for it the next game against Baylor where he poured in 30, and the Tar Heels advanced past the top-seeded Bears. But so he's on the verge with 1 more assist of doing something he's never done before, and that's a point assist double-double. Won't get an assist on this, even though he made the pass to Jalen Washington. Washington will try and score at the free throw line after he was fouled by Tajay Kelly before the break. First free throw is good. A little bit of a line drive. Washington's tied his career high now with 13 points. Davis, Trimble, Wojcik, Withers, Washington. The 5 on the floor. Second one for Washington for a career high. That one pops out. He'll have to try again. He's tied his career high, but couldn't quite set it. So, 75-40, Tar Heels by 35. And a jump shot on the other side, no good. Jalen Withers sails in for the rebound, almost lost his footing, but was able to bounce it to R.J. Davis before he slid to the ground. Baycott's come to the scorer's table for Carolina. Wojcik on the right wing was trying to go down low to Washington, and the pass just was not in the correct location. Washington had kind of gotten bumped out, and the pass just sailed to nobody out of bounds. Washington will get a nice round of applause as he goes to get a breather with 13 points and 5 rebounds. Also a couple of blocks for Jay Wash tonight, the sophomore from Gary, Indiana. 10:22 to go as Charleston Southern gets it in against the pressure. Still having some trouble, though, getting front side. Finally, they break it. And R.J. Johnson just crosses the timeline. I mean, that's got to be 4 or 5 times that the Buccaneers have crossed the timeline with a second to spare. Other direction with 10 on the shot clock. It is Sumler on the left sideline. Dribbles to the top, guarded by Wojcik. Backs up between the circles. Shot clock down to 5. Sumler goes to the left wing. Tries to go down low to Duhart. And the ball fumbled out of bounds, but last touched by the Tar Heels. 2.1 on the shot clock for Charleston Southern with 9:56 to play, and Carolina in control. Long inbounds out to Sumler. He's just going to force up a 3. Boy, I tell you, we were watching it, and it wasn't an easy shot, but it looked good as soon as it left his hands, and he knocks it in. 75-43. Withers will try and answer on the other side, and does so. Hits nothing but net from straight on. That's his first bucket, his second 3 of the season. Also made one against Northern Iowa in the Bahamas. 78-43 as Charleston Southern working in the half court. Sumler, who's made 3 threes today, is fouled on the drive. It's going to be called on Paxton Wojcik. Wojcik's foul, his first. Wojcik wearing number 8 as R.J. Davis checks out. We'll see if he returns or not. But Carolina up big by 35 with 9:25 to go. R.J. Davis, by the way, did get the 10th assist, so he's got the double-double on Withers' 3. They gave Davis the assist. So he has his first ever point assist double-double and his 5th career double-double as a Tar Heel. R.J. Johnson, boy, just trying to weave his way low to the ground through traffic. Carolina cut him off. Shot clock's low again. Sumler from the same spot hits another 3. So that's back-to-back possessions where Sumler's just had to force up a 3 with the shot clock expiring, but he's hit them both. He has 11 this half and 16 for the game. Cadeau quickly answers on the other side, just bodies his defender out of the way and hits the runner on the right baseline. Cadeau has 7 this half. The score after those buckets, 80-46. Carolina by 34. Patrick checked by Wojcik. Trying to back in at the left elbow. Out to Duhart. His three. Boy, that was off the top of the center square and in. So all of a sudden, Charleston Southern making some buckets, but not making much headway as there's a foul on the other side. Baycott caught the ball deep in the post and then was fouled. He's going to check right back out. Duhart, the fouler on the play, his second. And the fifth foul on Charleston Southern. Wonder, you have to think Davis and Baycott likely finished here with Carolina up by 31 points. Charleston Southern now 5 of 8 from 3 this half. They've hit their last 3 3-pointers. Inbounds goes to Washington. Faces up on the baseline. His fall away is good, and that's a career high for Jalen Washington. He's up to 15 points. Washington 6 of 7 from the floor. 82-49. Carolina has dominated as another three is good. It was Sumler again. Sumler came in a 36% shooter from 3. He's made 4 of them this half and 5 for the game. Down low to Washington. Turn around in the paint. Easy money for J-Wash. He has 5 now this half, 17 for the game. The points starting to swell. 84-52, Carolina with the advantage. Ingram going to check in. He's been on the bench a bunch here in this second half with the big lead. Sumler on the drive, can't finish, but the cleanup is there as Tajay Kelly tips it in. Carolina the other way, quickly Trimble. Charleston Southern still shooting just 41% this half, but 6 of 9 from 3. They are 3 of 13 from 2. Speaking of 2, there's Trimble around a screen and pushes it in from the left elbow. Trimble's up to 8 points, looking for double figures for the 3rd time this year and 4th time in his career. Carolina already has 4 players in double figures, paced by Davis's 20 and Washington's 17. Another 3-point attempt, finally a miss by Charleston Southern. Rebound goes to Jalen Washington. Carolina attacking the other way. Clock down to 6 minutes and 50 seconds with the heels up 86-54. Washington tries another 3 but misses short from straight on. Hustling the other way is Heath for Charleston Southern, but he can't hit the mid-range. There's Washington for the rebound. He's up to 7 of those. That's a career high for him in points and rebounds now. Cadeau, the drive, pitches left corner to Wojcik. Pump fake. He's fouled hard, gets the bucket to go, and he'll go to the line. But right now he's going to go to his seat as he took a shot in the head by Duhart on the foul. And Wojcik might be bleeding. Yeah, he is bleeding pretty heavily, actually, from his hairline area as Duhart came down hard with the elbow on the foul for his 3rd personal. And Wojcik will get the bucket. I have to imagine the Heels are going to have somebody else at the free throw line when action resumes. Tar Heels, no trouble tonight. They've led by as many as 37, now up by 34 with somebody shooting a free throw when we come back. 88-54 the score, 6:29 to go from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
Tar Heels have never trailed. They have led by as many as 37 and are well on their way to their 9th victory of the year against a Charleston Southern team that is in a bit of disarray. Their head coach, Barkley Radaball, leaving after 7 games this season after he had been there 18 years, and there's been some transition for this program. Charleston Southern not where it wants to be, has been a good Big South team in the past, but having some struggles at the moment. And their struggles have continued tonight with Carolina controlling this one. Food Lion, proud to sponsor the score to give more program for each free throw the Tar Heels make in today's game. Food Lion Feeds will donate 100 meals to a local area food bank. They just put that Jalen Washington has a career-high 17 points up on the video board. He also has a career-high 7 rebounds. Wojcik is back in the bench area, but I don't think he's going to shoot the free throw. It's going to be Okonkwo going to the line. I believe Carolina gets to choose the free throw shooter since there was blood involved. And I am surprised it's Okonkwo, who has not taken one all year, but He'll go to the strike. Tar Heels knew Okonkwo's going to have that soft touch. Front iron, backboard, and in for his first point of the year, in fact, for Okonkwo. 89-54. We'll set the 5 out there because Carolina, as you can imagine, is deep into its bench at the moment, although Cadeau and Ingram are both out. Sumler, who's been red hot, has a little bit of a heat check, and that one's too strong. Cadeau with the rebound to Trimble. He already has hit the Jets as Creighton Lebo's come to the scorer's table. Carolina, Cadeau has it in the front court, trying to drive. Puts his defender in the spin cycle and lays it up and over his head for 2. Sumler didn't know which way was which. Cadeau up to 9, and the Tar Heels up 91-54. That was a big-time move. Sumler short on the 3 on the other side. Cadeau the rebound out to Trimble. Watch out. Trimble in transition. Can't finish. Zayden High, though, to clean up the rebound. High's going to try a 3. No good. Ingram soars in for the offensive board. He'll get it to High. High goes up and under the basket. Kicks it in the right corner to Ingram for another 3. No good. Not the best shots on that sequence by Carolina. Hubert Davis kind of rolls his neck around and looks up to the sky. Not happy with the Heels maybe trying to force up some tough ones in that area. Of course, they're up 91-54. Duhart has it on the right sideline. He'll try a 3. It caroms hard off the front iron in the hands of Ingram. Ingram, bounce pass right side to Cadeau. Cadeau's going to wait on the right wing. Wants Okonkwo down low. Drives in, tried to dish it to him. It was tipped away. Ball loose on the ground, and it is out of bounds. Good effort by Charleston Southern. It was Sumler dove to the ground, but he was on the baseline when he did so. Here comes Creighton Lebo. He'll replace Harrison Ingram. So the Heels getting pretty darn small here with Lebo, Cadeau, Trimble, High, and Okonkwo as the 5 on the floor. 4:51 to go. Tar Heels up big, 91-54. Cadeau, the inbounds to Okonkwo, left of the lane. He'll hand it right back to Cadeau. Cadeau, crossover, now gets a screen from Okonkwo, bounces to him. Okonkwo got all tied up from behind, no whistle, and then the ball was punched out of his hands. Tar Heels trying to get Okonkwo a bucket. He does not have a field goal so far this year. His free throw that he made a moment ago, his first point of the season. Figured the "We Want Biscuits" chant was coming, and there it is. Heels need 9 more points for that. Up 91-54, but still 4.5 to go. Shot clock's down to 5 as Cadeau's going to have to do some late clock magic. Drives in, pump fake, ducks under the defender and banks it in. Cadeau off the window at the horn. He's up to 11, the 5th Tar Heel in double figures. Carolina has had 5 in double figures once this year. That was Northern Iowa. In fact, they had 6 in double figures that game. 93-54. R.J. Johnson tries to answer way short on the right elbow jumper. 4:08 to go as Carolina comes the other way. Cadeau, hesitation at the left wing. Jump stop in the paint and collision and a foul called on Gaddis Heath, his 3rd. That is the 17th foul on Charleston Southern, so it'll be a 1-and-1 for Cadeau. Cadeau has 11 points all this half, 3 assists and 4 rebounds as well. Withers was about to check in, but I think he's going to do so for Cadeau. So he'll have to wait to see if the freshman can make some free throws. Carolina leads by 39. Largest lead it's had at any point this year. Now it's 40 because Cadeau gets the free throw. Front iron, backboard, and in. Tar Heels on a 12-2 run, including scoring the last 10 points of the game to lead it by 40. Cadeau knocked from both ends. He'll head to the bench. One of 5 Tar Heels in double figures. So it's Lebo, Trimble, Withers, High, Okonkwo. Everybody's played except Rob Landry and Dewey Ferris. Have to think we'll see those 2 gentlemen. Assuming they are both healthy. Landry has had a couple knee problems, but I think he is available tonight for Carolina. Under 4 minutes to go. Next dead ball will be the final timeout of the ball game. Sumler on the drive, stopped there by Trimble, has to send it out to the young freshman Thompson. Back to Sumler, who's been shooting well this half. Drives in, his penetration and pitch is tipped away by Lebo, but ends up into the hands of Charleston Southern. Shot clock down to 4. Sumler's hit some late clock threes. He'll try again and is blocked by Withers. That'll be a shot clock violation, as Sumler's hit some tough ones, but not that time. 3:33 to go. It has been all Tar Heels. 95-54. Carolina up big with just a few minutes remaining. Carolina on its way to its 9th win of the season from Learfield. Been all Tar Heels since the start, and they lead it 95-54 with 3:33 to go. We're brought to you in part by the Good Feet Store. If you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, Good Feet Arch Supports are engineered to support all 4 arches to provide pain relief, balance, and comfort. Try them for yourself. Book your free fitting today at goodfeet.com. And, boy, a lot of Tar Heels have stood out tonight. R.J. Davis is doing what he normally does, 20 points, but also 10 assists. His first ever point assist double-double. He has 4-point rebound double-doubles in his Carolina career. He becomes the first Tar Heel with 20 points and 10 assists in a game since Kendall Marshall did it at Duke in 2012. Other Tar Heels in double figures, Jalen Washington, career highs in points and rebounds, 17 points, 7 boards. Ingram has 10 points and 7 rebounds. Baycott only played 20 minutes, had 12 points and 9 rebounds. Elliot Cadeau, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Trimble has a chance for double figures as well. He has 8 points and is still in the game, along with Lebo, Withers, High, and Okonkwo. 3:24 to go. Carolina 95, Charleston Southern 54. Lebo on the perimeter for Carolina. Thought about bouncing it down low to Okonkwo. Instead goes left side to Trimble. 10 on the shot clock for Trimble. Weaving through traffic. Elevates from 12 and Trimble's into double figures. He now has 10, the 6th different Tar Heel to reach 10+. The second time that's happened this year. The other being the Northern Iowa victory in the Bahamas. 97-54 as Withers, good defense, tips it away from Sumler. Goes out of bounds into the Charleston Southern bench. 15 on the shot clock, 2:53 on the game clock. Inbounding from the corner is Patrick against High. Left baseline, it's Sumler. 10 on the shot clock as Sumler now comes out to the sideline, now attacks the basket, and a foul is called. See who it's on. Jalen Withers will pick up his first. 2:45 to go. Carolina done for the 2023 calendar year as Sumler will go to the free throw line. Tar Heels next in action at Pitt on January 2nd. And the Panthers have really been a problem for the Tar Heels here over the last couple of seasons. As Sumler ready for the free throw, which is good. So those crumble cookies may have to wait. Pitt, 5-1. I was saying Carolina's had trouble against Pitt. They're 5-1 against Carolina in the last 6 games. Sumler gets them both. 97-56. Will the Bojangles occur? 100 points means 2 sausage biscuits for $1 at all locations, all partnering locations tomorrow. Trimble gets Carolina 2 points closer with the runner. 99 points as Trimble now has 12. That matches his career high. Dewey Ferris and Rob Landry coming to the scorer's table. 2:15 to go. It's 99-56 Carolina. Thompson well out for the Buccaneers. Over to Sumler. Tipped away by High. Sumler with 7 seconds remaining. Sumler down to 4 seconds on the shot clock. To the ACC logo. Ducks under the defense. Can't finish. Sumler just never passed it. Carolina with a chance for 100. Trimble to Withers from the left wing. Now he'll drive to Okonkwo. The layup for triple digits. Okonkwo's first basket as a Tar Heel, and he's going to bring everybody biscuits. 101-56. Charleston Southern takes a timeout to sub. As with 1:44 to go, Carolina's up big. Minute 44 to play, 101-56. James Okonkwo, the transfer from West Virginia. I don't know, what do they have Bojangles in England? I don't know. Just the third player from England to be a member of the Tar Heels, Steve Bucknall and Neil Fingleton, the other two. 97 seconds to go. Carolina up 101-56, and a foul called on Creighton Lebo, challenging the shot of Jaden Thompson. Foul on Lebo, his first. And a couple free throws coming for Jaden Thompson, but you know what that means. You got some biscuits, maybe you want some crumble cookies too. But Thompson's got to miss both free throws. He's 11 of 16 on the year. Let's see, the first one up. Oh, it's in. Freshman from Concord doesn't want anybody to have any more fun. 94 seconds to go, 101-57. Second one is good as well. Those are his first couple points of the night. And it's 101-58. Tar Heels going to move to 9-3, heading into conference play. Of course, they already have a conference win, too. Lebo's going to try a three. Too strong from the right sideline. Rebound to Charleston Southern. Minute 20 to go. Carolina 101, Buccaneers 58. Jaden Thompson around a high screen. Gets deep and pump fake. Got a Tar Heel in the air. Big wipeout there, but everybody's okay. Zayden High, the man who got up in the air and wiped out, but he's all right. His second foul, and, well, they're not going to say a shooting foul. Instead, it will just be the 6th team foul on Carolina, as Thompson didn't get in the act of shooting after High left in the air and landed on him. Heath from the left wing. He'll pull up for a long two against Dewey Ferris. Backboard first, no good. Okonkwo with the rebound. Handed it to Rob Landry, who wasn't ready for it, but Landry able to recover, bring it front side. Boy, had it tipped away. Landry to the deck, no saves it to Okonkwo. Okonkwo, that's a Euro step for two. We'll call it a British step for two for Okonkwo. He's got 5. 103-58. Okonkwo's first points as a Tar Heel came earlier tonight. As the Heels are up big. They've been up big for a while. Corner three, no good. Rebound to Lebo. 37 seconds to go. Carolina in control. Okonkwo over to Landry. Pump fake for three. Landry to the left elbow. Dumps it off to Okonkwo, and he's fouled going to the rim. Foul is on Quentin Bolton Jr., who checked in for Charleston Southern a moment ago. His first. And this will be 2 shots for Okonkwo, who made a free throw earlier in the game. 28.3 to play. 103-58. Carolina by 45 and now 46. This is the largest lead of the game, in a game full of large leads. Second free throw from Okonkwo. He's 3 for 3 at the line tonight. 7 total points. 105-58. Shot clock is off. Carolina up by 47. Left wing, it is Bolton. Duhart around the perimeter, gets it to Thompson. To Savage, that's Omarion Savage in for the first time. Jumper right of the lane is good by Bolton. And with 7 seconds left, Creighton Lebo is going to bring it front side, and that'll do it. I think the big fella would have enjoyed that one. The Tar Heels had a bunch of fun in the Smith Center tonight as they run away from Charleston Southern by the final score of 105-60. Tar Heels will complete non-conference play at 9-3 and have a difficult 3-game road trip in the new year coming against ACC opponents. Big win for the Heels tonight. 105-60, the final score. Coke postgame report coming up. Dave will get you through stats. Ton of stats to get to after this one, as you can imagine. Scores from around the country. Adam Lucas is going to talk to a player. I'll talk to Coach Davis. And we'll break all this down. Tar Heels from start to finish tonight control things against the Buccaneers. 105-60 the final from Learfield.
for the first time in a while, we're back. It's time for a rapid reactions pod after Carolina dismantles Charleston Southern by the final score of 105-60. Jones and Adam here with you. The show, of course, is presented by our friends at Modelo, an official beer of the Tar Heels. Adam, my main takeaway is that the Tar Heels are better than Charleston Southern. And in all joking aside, Carolina did what it should have done tonight. They were the better team. They jumped out to a big early lead. They never let up. A lot of guys played. A lot of guys had success. And Carolina wins this handily.
Contributions up and down the lineup. You got the big numbers you expect from your mainstays. RJ Davis leads the Tar Heels in scoring again and does something no Tar Heel has ever done.
Yeah.
But then also players like Jalen Washington, Seth Trimble, basically everyone. We could name everyone. Felt like did something to help Carolina win, and we'll go into 2024 feeling good about what they contributed.
You'll see interview I had with Hubert Davis, interview Adam had with Jalen Washington coming up in just a second. That stat that Adam was referencing with RJ Davis, and Coach Davis talks about this a little bit, is 20 points, 10 assists, which is his first point assist double-double as a Tar Heel. RJ Davis actually had 4 double-doubles, point rebound, but first time he's had a point assist double-double. But then what makes it even extra impressive is 5 steals, no turnovers. And there's never been another Tar Heel that has had that stat line before. And when you're saying the history of Carolina basketball, that is something else. And Adam, RJ Davis just continues to, as you and I have talked about this some recently in the audio pod and other places, he's playing at a high level, but he's doing it in no way does it feel selfish, even though he is scoring a lot of points.
He just looks so comfortable, and it looks like it's coming so easily to him. Like when he decides he's going to score, he just goes to where he wants to shoot and shoots and makes it. And when he decides he wants to pass, like the play to Jalen Withers in the second half, you could just kind of look at him and say, he has decided he's going to get an assist. How's he going to do it? Oh, spin into the lane and throw like a twirling bounce pass that Withers is able to dunk. That was a gorgeous play. It just looks like it's coming easy. I think he's on triple-double watch now.
That was a possibility. Well, we know R.J. Davis is a good rebounding guard. He's been a good rebounder really his whole Carolina career, even though he's not a big guy. So could it be point, rebound, assist? We'll find out.
It's been a while.
Stay tuned. Also, stay tuned right here. We're going to let you listen to, I chatted with Hubert Davis. Adam talked with Jalen Washington. Career highs for Jalen tonight in both points with 17 and rebounds with 7. You'll hear from both of those gentlemen. Adam and I will come back and talk a little more and get you ready for a difficult stretch upcoming for the Heels. That's after you hear these interviews on a Rapid Reactions edition of the Carolina Insider. Whole lot of Tar Heels tonight in the Smith Center as they run away from Charleston Southern and improve to 9-3 and done with non-conference play. I'm inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner alongside the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis. And, Coach, your team coming off the holiday break obviously looked very good tonight. What'd you like? I'm guessing a lot to like tonight with your team's big win.
Well, I did. You know, they played like they practiced the last three days. And I told them that after the game. I felt like the way that they practiced, the way that they prepared was the way that they played today. I thought, you know, from a defensive standpoint, we had some mistakes in leaving their best three-point shooters open at times, but I felt like we were locked in defensively. We did a good job. It's the first time in 4 games we've out-rebounded an opponent. And then on the offensive end, we were sharing the basketball, and we've been talking about getting back to good to great. We felt like for a couple games it was stopping at good, and we want the ball to stop at great. And as a team, we had 20 assists. And I told him after the game a story about, you know, that I don't look at stats. And I got that from Coach Smith and Coach Guthridge. He never let us look at our stat sheet. We never knew how much we averaged. He always believed in your preparation and your practice, and your play will take care of itself. And that followed me all throughout the NBA. I never looked at my stats. You know, I just wanted to work on how hard I played. And if I did that, then I knew that my stats will take care of itself. But it was important to acknowledge what R.J. Davis did. You know, Carolina has such an unbelievable history of incredible players. So when somebody said this is the first time ever, it's pretty good. And so the first time ever to have 20 points and 10 assists and 5 steals and 0 turnovers in Carolina history, that is a stat that we needed to acknowledge after the game.
Coach, another guy who put up good stats today was Jalen Washington. Career high in points, career high in rebounds for him. You played Jalen and Armando together some. What do you like about that, and what do you like about Jalen tonight?
We've been practicing having both of them together and going big. And it's something that we wanted to look at and something that we feel like can help us in terms of rebounding, because rebounding is such a big part of us. So, to help out rebounding, you get taller guys out there, and so that's great. And then with, Jay Wash and Armando, they're two different types of bigs. And so Jay Wash can play on the perimeter. Obviously, he can shoot the ball from the outside, so that gives us our spacing and a balance that we want. And so it's something that we're going to continue to look at and continue to use.
This was a game where a bunch of guys played, a bunch of guys scored and got in the box score. What does a game like that do for your team in total when so many different guys can contribute?
Well, everybody wants to play. And so when everybody plays and they play, good minutes and they get an opportunity to score and run up and down that floor, everybody's happy, and we have a really happy locker room. But it's a happy locker room not just for individual success, it's for the team success. You mentioned it's the last non-conference game, and we've had a pretty nice non-conference schedule. And for us to be in the position, obviously we want to be undefeated, but the position that we're in now, have to feel very proud of the way that we played the first 2 months of the season.
Coach, last thing you guys do now ahead, it's nothing but conference play the rest of the way, and it starts with a very challenging 3-game road stretch after the new year. What will be important in your mind and things that you want to work on leading up to that stretch?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go already. I love ACC play, and you're right, starting 3 road games to start ACC season is going to be a challenge for us, but I like challenges, and it's going to be exciting to go to Pitt and to Clemson and to North Carolina State and be able to compete. They've had success in non-conference season as well, and so it'll be a really good test for us, but I feel like we're in a position to compete and come away and play the best that we can.
Coach, you have my box score. What was the final score again in this game? It was a lot to a little. I have no idea. Hold on, let me read it there. There it is, 105-60, the final score. Tar Heels win by 45. Coach, congratulations on the big win, and look forward to talking with you soon.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's Hubert Davis, guys, in the Continental Tire Coach's Corner.
Alongside Jalen Washington after Carolina gets biscuits to end out the year against Charleston Southern. Jalen with a career high in points. Jalen with a career high just basically in everything. What'd you feel like you did well tonight?
Just brought a lot of good energy. I feel like I played free out there, and we just had a lot of fun. So I feel like those are the biggest things that you can do when you play basketball, just getting caught in the game, and it ended up well.
Playing free, it seems like, is something you're getting more comfortable doing. There were times last year where it looked like you were thinking about what you were doing. Tonight it looked like you're just playing. How have you gotten to that point?
Really just practice and, just being healthy, not trying to miss too many practices, miss too many days, just being available, just to gain the day-to-day experience and practice and just playing the game, really.
As a lot of people know, you have battled some health issues and are finally able to play healthy. How does that feel different when you're out there? What kind of things are you able to do differently that maybe you couldn't do maybe even last year at this time?
Just move with confidence, really. Still, working on getting stronger and, quicker and all that as I'm, growing and getting older. But really just playing with confidence, being able to do a lot of things better, like move laterally, jump higher, run, stop, and just decelerate. I would say like those things are things that I'm, able to see improvements in compared to last year.
You scored a lot of different ways tonight. You scored close to the basket. You had the nice face-up on the baseline. You hit a couple three-pointers. What are you proudest of? What have you worked hardest to add to your game?
Really just consistency. So I would say, consistency on the 3-ball. I always could shoot, but just trying to make threes in a row, make shots in a row. So that's one thing I'm proud of. I always like it when I hit threes. It's my favorite part of my game.
Coach Davis has bragged a lot on your post defense too. How have you worked on that? He says he thinks you might be the team's best post defender. Where do you feel like you've gotten better in there?
Really just being able to stay in front of guys. You don't have no choice. You got to go up against Mondo every day in practice. So really just being able to take contact and just stay in front of them, contest a shot. That's all you can do sometimes. Push guys off their spots, make them a little bit uncomfortable. And then just, playing against smarter guys is, learning what they don't want to do, what they really like to do, what they want to get to, and just not allowing them to do that.
Nothing but conference games from here on out. How can you build on this type of performance as you go into the league?
Just take every day for 100%. Just like go hard every single day. Just value the days because it's a long season. We just starting conference play, so we gotta stick together and just make sure that we build every day, keep stacking days.
Carolina basketball puts 22,000 people in the building on a Friday night in the middle of December to watch the Tar Heels play a team maybe not as good. What's it like to have a lot of kids in the crowd? When you see that type of crowd, what does that do for you?
That's awesome. Like the energy that our fans give us, we have the best fans in the country. Energy that our fans gives us keeps us going, gives us boost in the game when we're going through a drought. So, we wouldn't be in good positions that we are without our fans.
Not too many droughts for Jalen Washington tonight. Career high 17. Jalen, thank you.
So the Tar Heels win it by 45 points. 105-60 is the final score. And Adam, largest lead was 47, which is by far the largest lead at any point in any game this season for the Tar Heels. Adam, clearly Charleston Southern is not the most talented team that Carolina's faced this year, but I do think it's the second game in a row, Oklahoma being the last one, where the Tar Heel defense has been effective, not just in stopping the opposition, but then creating offense for the Tar Heels. They had 9 steals in this game, 7 block shots. They had 10 steals against Oklahoma. The Sooners had 18 turnovers in total, and it felt like that defensive activity has helped Carolina in both games get out into the open floor some, where they did a nice job converting.
And Carolina able to mix in a couple wrinkles defensively in this game just to get some game action on things they've been working on in practice, extending the pressure out beyond half court into the backcourt. And when you can get some of those live ball turnovers, you can run. And Carolina wins fast break points 15-0 because they were able to get some turnovers on the fly and get out and get some easy layups.
So again, final score 105-60. And Adam, just before we're done, that is it for non-conference play for Carolina in the regular season. Nothing but ACC games moving forward. It's a really tough, not start to ACC play because Carolina has already played a conference game, but a start in the new year of 3 consecutive road games. If you've watched it with us here the whole way, you heard Hubert Davis said he was fired up and ready to go and excited to get into conference action. And I do think that Pitt game is one that the Tar Heels want to play well in. Pitt has had Carolina's number here as of late.
Yes, and I don't think the Tar Heels feel like they've played particularly well, both in terms of like technically playing basketball, but also in standing up to what Pitt's trying to do to them. There's absolutely no secret what Pitt's going to try to do to the Tar Heels. I think this group of Tar Heels is a little different mix, and I'm not sure they're going to take that quite as friendly as past Tar Heel teams have. That's going to be a battle.
So that's coming up on January 2nd. That is this upcoming Tuesday at 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air at 6 o'clock radio-wise for that one. Adam, any other glorious thoughts from you after the Tar Heels win big?
Great crowd. Sold out at the Smith Center on a Friday night against a 4-8 team.
Yeah.
A lot of kids probably seeing their first game at the Smith Center. That was a great one to see.
Yeah, Tar Heels play well, look good, and run away from Charleston Southern by the final score of 105-60. Thanks for being with us. It's another Rapid Reactions edition of the Carolina Insider.